A while for the chance to get back into ballparks and grandstands, and now that we can, the Razorbacks, all of their teams, football, baseball, basketball, have helped spring us all into action. And as THV 11's Ian Russell shows us, that action is pushing sports betting to an all-time high around here.
The pandemic changed a lot about our lives, including just watching live sports. As sports comes back, so do the sports books, and a big help for them in Arkansas, the Razorbacks.
March 2020 was extremely disappointing.
When the pandemic hit almost 20 months ago,
And when the NBA and March Madness wound down when the pandemic started, it was a huge disappointment for all of us.
live sports took a nosedive. And when you rely on sports to be able to have a sports book,
It was a worldwide event. Sporting events basically came down to a complete close during the pandemic.
that makes the last year tougher than normal.
Most places bets went down by over 90%. People were trying to find things like Korean baseball and ping pong to bet on during that time just to keep them in action.
But this year is a different story. All major sports are back in action and bets are back up. In August, Saracen saw over 500,000 placed in sports bets alone. Oaklawn had over 1 million wagered. But there's another, more local reason why the books have been big at Arkansas's casinos.
Arkansas basketball, Arkansas baseball, and now with Arkansas in the football season, it has exponentially increased our handle in the sports book this football season alone.
At Razorback Sports doing really well, and numbers for Saracen are through the roof.
We are right now threefold ahead of where we were this time last year, and I attribute probably most of that to the success of the Arkansas Razorbacks this year.
And when the state's team is doing good, you got to make sure people stay engaged.
One of the reasons why we increased our limits is because of the popularity of people wanting to bet on the Hogs.
So as the Razorbacks get back to winning, Atkinson says that's helping them get back to normal too.
So yeah, it's going to be a big help for us because anytime there's interest in your local sport team, they're going to bet on more.
In Pine Bluff, I'm Ian Russell, THV 11 News.
Thank you, Ian. Sharp eyes noticed that the Hogs are 18.5-point underdogs to the Dogs this weekend. We also reached out to Oaklawn for a statement. They said in part there's definitely a lot of interest in football, both NFL and college, and the Razorbacks are really adding to that excitement each week with how well they are playing.